Hi everyone, it's Philip from VFW1402. This is our week 1 assignment video. I'm going to show you a demo of the application. We're going to briefly go over the logic behind it as well. So this is the main application right here. We have a header view, we have a quote view, I've got a footer view, and 3 buttons. I also have an invisible layer here, which is another view that the text sits and the animation sits on. So if I click on back, I'll go back. As you can see, it counts from 1, 2, 3, 4, and I can just keep going back. If I go back below 0, I'll go to reverse. Above it, I'll keep going. If I click on the 4C button, I'll get the layer that was hidden to come back, which is actually an image view animation. So in a nutshell, that's what the application is. Whenever we click on 4C, it works. We can also come up here and click on hardware and shake. And if we shake the iPhone, it also looks for it as well. Logic behind it is pretty sound. App.js basically looks to make sure that everything is loaded up. We are checking to see what type of operating system we're using. If we're using an Android, we specify the status bar style as undefined. Otherwise, we specify that it's light content for an iOS device so that we get the nice white text up here at the top of the iPhone. Other than that, I'm defining my views, I'm adding my views, I'm loading my logic file, and then I'm adding everything to my window. In my logic, I'm setting out my arrays. I'm then loading up my images to my array, and then I am going ahead to create all of my functions necessary to run the application. I'm adding all of my event listeners, but the logic that we're going to talk about today was what to do when we click on next, previous, and random. So let me expand those 3 functions. Now when I click on previous, it's going to compare the current index value of the item and subtract 1. If we're less than 0, it's going to set the current index to the highest number in the array, which is the very last element. It's then going to set the text and the step text accordingly. And the same thing for next. It's going to take that index, add 1. If we go over the maximum number of elements in the array, it's going to set it to 0 and set the text accordingly. So both of those are pretty straightforward. The 4C button, on the other hand, is a random pick. It's a little bit different. When you click on it, it decides to pull up a random index using the MathFloor and MathRandom. I can use MathFloor to choose the lowest whole number that is created by multiplying a random number between 0 and 1 by the maximum number of items in the array. So we get that random element from the array. I assign a text value. I'm checking to see if the current text that we're looking at is the same. If it is, I repull. If not, I add that text. And so that is my application. I hope everybody likes it, and I hope everybody's having a good time in VFW 1402. And hopefully the winter will end soon, right? And what do we say? Ask again later. Well, I guess it's not going to end anytime soon. All right, guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.